One of these days we should hit the record button right before we're like ready.
Oh
So people can
no.
see, so people can see that before you hit the record button, you were over here like slapping your face and stuff,
And I
like
was making you
getting yourself.
cry. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone, Stephanie made me cry before we got going. If I look a little weird, she was really mean, and she said really mean things to me
hmm
that would make everyone really upset. Um, I just want you to know that.
Also, Jill is a complete liar. I made her cry tears. I made her cry tears. I made her cry tears of laughter. That's
What do people normally cry? Sand? Like
right. Threads. I'm just a
I
crying
just oh my
thread.
God, I just snorted. You
Yeah,
didn't hear it.
we had too much fun before we hit record. Here's a funny
It
story that
was
ever
it
here's a
got
funny
weird
story that
up in
it
here
did.
before we hit record.
It did. But here's a funny story for our friends. I woke up this morning, I'm in the bathroom, I was, rubbing my face, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, what is that on my neck? It's a big piece of thread. Apparently, somehow or another, I was sewing late last night, right before I went to bed. I cut this piece of thread. It was a kind of large gauge thread. And somehow, instead of going in the little thread bucket, it made its way onto my person. And I slept all night with this thread tucked in my neck.
I thought you were gonna tell me that like you found a weird neck hair or something.
Oh, I was like, what is that? All good though. I'm
Because
totally fine. The thread was properly disposed of.
oh good. I really wish that we could tell everyone the weirdness that we were talking about before we got on here, but we can't because it's not appropriate.
It's
Believe it or not,
NC-17.
believe it or not, everyone, Stephanie and I were talking about something that was not appropriate. Can you imagine?
I know. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get into it. Do you have any announcements before we get started?
I I sure do. I sure do. Let me just I don't need to share sound for anything. Okay, let me just that's not the announcement. Ah!
So by the time you see this, it's almost time for
It'll
me to
be
be
the fifth.
back. Yeah, I'll be back in a week.
Whatever. Whatever. We've suffered all this time that you've been away. This is a very intense calendar, but I have to say, the lineup here with all these colors is very pleasing to me.
It's a
Just
very
just had to
rainbow
put
August. We
yeah,
didn't
just
have
had
this
to put
much
that up.
rainbow in June. You know?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I guess quilt nerding's Pride Month is August.
Um, so so you guys are watching this video, it's the 5th. So just wanted to remind everyone that for the 12th there, we do our last discussion of main quilts. And our last discussion was supposed to be chapter 6 and 7. We didn't discuss chapter 7 because we listened to a radio interview with Lori Labar as part of a panel. So we'll talk about chapter 7 on the 12th, as well as finishing the book, which is chapter 8. And I put pages 174 just to the end, and you can decide after the end of the chapter if you want to read more in the back, like the bibliography and the notes and the this and the that. And then anything else extra we want to talk about there. And then the 19th, we have our author interview with Lori.
I'm so
So if
excited to
you
talk
come
to
up with
Lori.
any yeah, she's so fun. If you guys have come up with any questions or anything between now and then that you want us to ask her, you can send those to us in our email, quiltnerding@gmail.com, or you can ask them, live that night. And then on the 26th, we go back into the having the time to go through the backlog of stuff that we have now. I am between now and then. If you did watch our last live stream, I we found out that there is a quilt exhibit in Portland right now, that will be gone by the time Steph and I get into Portland for AQSG seminar. So I did talk to Lori. She did say it is different. We won't see them. Um, and she did say it, and she said it's small. It's like 5 quilts or something like that. But Portland's not far. So I was like, I have some errands I have to run in Maine anyways. So I was like, oh, I guess I should try to do that. And
Yes.
she said that they are totally cool with pictures and sharing and all that jazz. So I'm gonna try to get over there and get that done between now and then. And hopefully for the 26th, that's what we'll be doing to tie in you know, the theme of all the mainness. And that also reminds me too, Steph, we gotta decide on our last book for the year.
I know. I've been thinking about this actually. I keep
Hmm.
thinking like, oh, we need to, and then I think, oh, I've got all these books I'm going to read, and I'm like, but that's a lot of pressure. So,
I'm actually reorganizing my books right now. So I was also going, oh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, Anyhow. So that's it for those announcements. You don't have any others in your brain?
I don't
Okay.
think so. I mean, I realized that my trip has kind of thrown the monkey wrench into our summer schedule, but we do have a lot going on, but it's exciting things.
Ah,
I'm just, bless you.
excuse me. Something is
I'm
killing
very
me
excited.
today.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right.
Um,
What do we
well,
have
also not to
today?
mention too, we're gonna have to like build in some time here for you to tell us about coming back from your trip. Um,
Yeah, maybe that's the 26th.
well, if that show only has 5 quotes, then that shouldn't take too long. Or it's got like 5, and then the ones they mentioned, I forget, but it shouldn't take us very long to go through 5. But anywho, so we are doing some auction review, which it's been a minute since we've done some auction
Yeah, it
review.
has. And because Stephanie Cake has been on a budget in 2025, I really just have not been looking at auctions. It's like I don't need to be tempted. So I've just turned away, unless you've had something that you and some of our friends have sent me to say, Stephanie, look at this. Um, so
Generally speaking, I often do what you do is I just don't even look. I don't even like
yeah.
I take it off my radar because honestly, when you and this is a warning, okay? This is a cautionary tale to anyone that is interested in auctions. When you start looking there all the time
Hmm.
and you will find the stuff you are interested in all the time. All
Hmm.
the time. Like I can't tell you like once you start getting like on social media, if you start looking at auction houses and they start becoming recommended to you in your feed and stuff, you're gonna find the obscure things that you like all the time. Like there's many
You're
auctions,
gonna
I know.
You're going to be amazed at how many auction houses there are, and not even auction houses. I mean, these are bigger auction houses we're looking at, but even these smaller companies that do estate sales and stuff, there are so many places.
So there is so much. I'm not trying to get on the like under consumption train in this moment, but there is so much stuff out there available. Um and yeah, well you can start like sometimes we go through like a Dana auction where she does, just quilts and textiles and stuff in her auction, and it's not that's not I would consider the norm. The norm would be
Right.
an auction with a massive variety of stuff. And then in that
Hmm.
auction there might be 2 quilts, but people
Right.
won't look at it because it's got a lot of other stuff. And then you just like happen to get, so it snowballs fast. And
Yeah.
once you start winning some things, then you start looking at more
Hmm.
things and you can easily get a bunch of
Yeah.
crap and spend a lot of money fast. So I often try not to really look much, except for the fact that lately one of our friends and I have been like buying auction things together and splitting the lots, which is a really good strategy for one,
It
because you
is.
can get
Yeah.
a lot more
Yeah.
stuff um that maybe you like a lot you couldn't win on your own if it was going to go for a lot
Mhm.
of money, which has happened. Um, and yeah, we're in a season right now, I think, where a lot of sewing tool collectors are either passing
Mhm.
and their families are dissolving their estates, or they're just downsizing, and there's been a lot of really great stuff coming up recently, which
Yeah.
is one of those like, yay! Oh no. So,
Yeah, I think that downsizing has been happening. I mean, we are in a really interesting time in terms of like I actually saw an article about this the other day, and I mean not to digress, there's a point to this, but it was about how we are in the moment of the what they call the great wealth transfer. I don't know that there's much
from the
wealth to
boomer
transfer.
generation.
But yes, because the baby boomers, and there's a small contingent of people that are a little older than the baby boomers, but I think they're considered like all in the same. And then there's Generation Jones. Those are the people who are right there, they're end of baby boomer, beginning of Gen X. They're like a weird little like pocket generation. But all of these people are either unfortunately passing away or they're retiring and or they are finding new interests in their older years, or they want to travel, or they just can't manage all the stuff and they want to downsize. And it's we are, Gen X, you're a millennial, younger folks that are interested in starting to collect or adding to a collection. It's like a buyer's market out there right now. um but I think your cautionary tale and my cautionary tale, because you can look at an auction and then hone in on the quilts, the needlework tools, to the exclusion of the rest of it. You know me, I'm a more is more person. I love shiny objects. I am constantly looking at interesting found objects and things for themes and for my artwork. So I have a real problem with auctions because I look at things and go like, "Oh, look at that." And it's like that has nothing to do with needlework tools, which I collect, quilts, which I study, you know. So it's a slippery slope, and I think we have a lot of fun with these auctions. And I think this, if you are not, if you're budget conscious or you just don't have the room at this time to collect things, living vicariously is a great way. So I just, in promotion of our auction viewing, um, it's some of the excitement without the danger, in my opinion.
Well, because when we've said this before, when we've looked at, I think it was when we were looking at the last Dana auction, like what, like last quarter or something like that. She had a lot
Mhm.
of swatch books, and there were a
Yeah.
couple we liked, and we were sitting there
Mhm.
hoping, like, I hope our friends got that, because like if your
Yeah.
friend has it, like you have it too because you can visit it.
Yes, yes,
And
absolutely. And
that's just as
that's the
good.
way that's the way I often look at, especially Dana, because we know Dana and we know many of the people that bid in Dana's auction. So I feel like if something gets away from a Dana auction, I do still generally feel okay about it because I'm like, yeah, it's one of our friends and their collection will come up for auction again one day, or we can visit it. I do have to say though, Dana's last auction with those swatch books, there were some from the 70s, 60s and 70s that did not, they went for prices that were kind of in my budget. So I kind of was kicking myself because I didn't go back in and bid on them. So, there's always that feeling of FOMO and the feeling of like, oh, the one that got away. But, again, refer to point number one. We are in a wonderful time for auctions and interesting collectibles to be on the market. So,
hmm And everyone, just so you know, Stephanie is interested in 1970s swatch books, for birthday
yeah.
presents and things.
Yes. And just really any tidbits of 1970s fabrics that anybody wants to impart on me, I'm happy to take it off your hands.
Wow, careful.
I
That
know.
is
I
quite.
know. It's
You're
also
gonna
a
like
slippery slope.
yeah, you're gonna hear outside beep beep beep, and it's like a dump truck like pulling up to like offload.
Yeah. You could find my house from space because there's this giant mountain of 1970s like Cranston VIP fabric piled in my front yard. From all of the quilters who are like, you like 70s and 80s fabric? Do you know how much of that? And do you know how many quilters who like a generation ahead of me who are like, oh my God, I have tons of that. And I'm like, well, who likes it if you ever want to get rid of it? So I just picture, quilting friends driving past my house or just flinging yardage out the window as they go by.
Sounds to me like you need to join your local quilt guild to give those ladies somewhere to pass that fabric on.
Well, I mean, I do belong to some local stuff, so they know where to find me.
Alrighty.
All right,
We
let's get
ready?
into it. Yes. I'm excited because like I said, I have not looked at auctions lately and you've sent me a few things, some of our friends have sent me a few things, but I haven't been looking, so I haven't seen what's out there.
So this one was super recent. This one was on the 11th. Yes, I shopped in this one.
Did you get
That is
anything out of this
why.
one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's we've got a little unboxing coming up, don't we? Maybe?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, and it's funny, when I was like poking through this and you were like, yeah, I get like caught up and I want to look at other stuff. Whenever I see like really random things here, like this Revolutionary War musket, I'm like, yeah, Steph would think that's really neat and want to put it in her living room.
Well, not necessarily. And the other thing is it's always not like I want to possess the item, but like I'm like, oh, I've never seen that before. I've never heard of that before. Let me go, investigate it. I have an
So
auction house near
for you, auctions are museums. They're museum
kind of.
exhibits.
There are museums where you might be able to own one of the items or some of the items if you have the money or you're lucky. So, but yeah, I mean, I do also look at auctions. And here is just kind of a tip, and again, it take a lot of your time and also tug at your your capitalist heartstrings if you like to own things. But they're a great way to research because you can see things you've never seen before or you know and then that could take you can take an image, you can take the screenshot to for your files and then go out and research and that's also been a great resource for me. Is
Hmm.
that a scarab bracelet?
There, no, it's just this charm bracelet.
Okay, it looks like the scarab ones.
There were a number of samplers in this auction that went lower than I, thought that they would, because sometimes, I know it is in their estimated range, but you and I go to some shows where we see some sampler dealers and
Oh yeah,
um
and I've never been into samplers, so when I look at some of their stuff I'm like that costs more, the price they have on that costs like twice what I would even think about for like a whole very old quilt. And I realize that, the sampler market it's different than say quilts to some degree for a number of reasons, but yeah, I did not know anything about the world of samplers and my eyes were very opened by your investigations and some of our friends who are collectors. Um
mhm,
and not to spend a whole lot more time on this, but I noticed that one is a family record. So,
mhm.
this is the idea that needlework, not just quilts, but needlework in general is a record. It's a document. And this is
Mhm.
in reality an actual document of genealogical history, and this could be valuable to somebody.
Well, that's what, and I was thinking too, like if you were to own a sampler, I kind of picture you owning this kind
Yes.
that would have like a
Yeah.
genealogical
Yeah.
tie to it.
And because I do enjoy, the genealogical aspect of it, if I own something like that, if my heart is with quilts more than samplers, but if I owned something like that and was gonna, do the genealogical record on it, that's a lot of fun. I would find the family. Do they have existing relatives today and be like, look, I'm not gonna give you my sampler, but I'll give you my genealogical work if you're interested, because that's helpful to
Mhm.
them if they're interested, you know. And that's just
Mhm.
me. I mean, I know people do this genealogical work for pay. Um, in my case, researching the genealogy of textiles when you have that information is really more of like a research project. So yeah, just things to think about.
Also, shout out to this little bottle for going for $2,500.
I know. What is that?
It's
Renovator.
uh
Is it some kind of like patent medicine or some kind of thing? Medicine
1860s.
bottle.
Yeah, it's a medicine bottle. So
Hmm.
I'll tell you, bottle dealers are bottle collectors. There's something fierce, man.
Oh, yes. And this is where I get in trouble with auctions, is telling the stories of things I know. So in Maryland, we have lots of bottle fields around Baltimore. And what that is, if you're not familiar,
Wait. Yeah, what's a bottle field?
It's basically like a trash pile. Um,
Oh.
Back in the day, before we had landfills and the county garbage truck coming by or the city garbage truck, we had these dumping areas. And for some people, it was literally on their property. But if you lived in a city, sometimes you'd throw small bits of trash in your privy, meaning your outhouse, as it was a deep hole. Which that brings me to privy excavations are a very interesting type of archaeology. But they also had these bottle fields where they would just kind of dump trash. And there's lots of collectors that'll go poke around these bottle fields. My husband is a park manager, and some of these bottle fields are on park property. So, or kind of in the wilderness around parks and stuff. And
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes the collectors are a bit problematic, but it's an interesting little hobby to go poke around and just find this old glass because sometimes it's not a complete bottle. It's, the reason why it's in the trash heap is because it's broken. But sometimes you find
Or it
stuff
got
apparently
broken
that are
throwing it in the trash heap.
that too. But those type of bottles, like those old patent medicine bottles and pharmaceutical bottles and stuff, they sometimes, I mean, people didn't want to keep them if they were empty. So, yeah, they throw them in the trash and you can find them.
When our friend and I were watching this auction live, we were commenting on this amethyst bowl from 1830 that went for $2,300.
1830. Yeah. And I know a tiny bit about glass because when I was in art school, I did take a glass class. Um, the pigments and the minerals that they put in glass are
Hmm.
different, but also interesting to look at. They're different than what was used in cloth, obviously, but they're interesting to look at as well because, was 1830 a time when you could get purple in fabric, like that kind of beautiful amethyst color?
Off
Did
the
you
top
did
of
you
my
get
head, I don't know. It probably depends on where in in the world you might be.
hmm Yeah, and I can't, this is where our giant timeline comes in handy if we can remember all these. But, I think about like, the 1800s were definitely a time of developing all of these chemicals and dyes and, lots going on in Germany. And yeah, so when I see something like that and it's that old, I'm very curious, like what's all of the
I mean,
science that goes into that.
I feel like they must have had purple by then because it was a color for royalty.
Oh,
I
sure. Yeah,
feel
I
like,
know
yeah,
purple as general has been around, but I'm curious, like, is that like a very rare color for the early 1800s?
well, yeah, and again, like I don't know. I mean, like this picture here, this brown amber picture, circa, 18th century,
That's a color you
you
expect
know?
out of the 1700s, though, like earth
Sure, no,
tones, that.
but it's more so the fact that like it survives and you could own it. You
Oh,
know what I mean? Like that always
absolutely.
blows my mind.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
and it's funny because see here, the other thing I often find interesting, and of course, like it's always just a fine line. Like I don't like these estimates for how much things will go for, because even like the most seasoned auctioneer can't can't be correct 100% of the time because
Oh,
like
yeah. I
there's
think they
also just
sometimes
markets, you know?
you just can't predict, apparently. I mean, and we've talked to some of our friends that have put, portions of their collection up for auction, and they're shocked because they're like, oh my God, I paid twice or more than twice as much for that quilt as it actually, sold for in the auction. And sometimes we see stuff that it's a collector that's going after it. And so they'll blow the estimates out because the auctioneer didn't expect that. And it's,
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah,
unpredictability of auctions. Some of the
so like
excitement of auctions.
well, it's funny because like this one is pretty close to its estimate on the high end, but like look at this one. It was estimated
That one went
few
over
hundred
way over.
dollars and it went for 20, so it's like
And I guess it
there's
could be some collector who's like, I want a purple bowl from 1830, darn it. All
yeah,
right.
there's so many balls in the air about
Mhm.
stuff. Here's some more stuff that, obviously was not as desirable. More little bottles.
Yeah, I bet
Don't worry,
the bottle people went, oh, that's a pretty ring. Keep going, keep scrolling.
I'm trying not to go too fast because I don't want to make anybody sick. But yeah, it's just the fact that like we've got to get through a bunch of stuff to get to stuff. Here's some more samplers. But like, see, look at this
Mm.
one. 1846, it went for $175. And like that's a pretty sampler.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just curious. Does it say her age? Aged 11. 11.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, and it has her name, Louisa Ford. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about these children basically being born with a needle and thread and infants stitching beautiful work?
yeah, this one went for 150. Like, like this was if you wanted to like get in, I don't know why this one over here, my our friend and I were both like, why did this one go for 700? But
I wonder if
if you
it's somebody
wanted,
was going after it who like it was a family, like,
oh, maybe.
oh, I'm a
Um,
Gibson too, kind of.
this was a good action, a good auction. If you wanted to like get your hand into sampler collecting, you could have
Yeah.
gotten. I didn't really go after any of them. Um, here, this was one of the quotes that was in here that was very cool because it was signed at the bottom here. And 325, in my opinion, is pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
Um,
for mid 19th century. So what, like 1860? Does that say 1860? When in doubt,
yeah,
I would say 1860.
yeah. See, here's the.
August. Yeah, is that August or what? Am I reading that right? What is that?
I'm not sure. I'll look in the description. But
1860.
yeah,
Good job,
yeah. The
Cake.
fact that it's, but I was shocked at the fact that it's like signed and dated like that, and it only went for 325, and it looked to be in
Yeah.
really good shape too. So
Yeah,
August
it's just
11th,
yeah,
1860.
it is so strange. And I mean, thinking about those samplers, like again, as a person who's generally unknowledgeable at samplers, those three that we looked at the beginning, that $700 one, I don't understand that either. But that first one that it went for like what, 475 or something, I could see that being very desirable because it has all like this big hunk of family history. And whether you are has shared that same last name or you're just really interested in genealogy, I could see the value as a buyer. Those other two, I feel like the one it was a little prettier, a little more decorative, the one, and then the other one was the least expensive one was, didn't have that fanciness about it. But yeah, sometimes it's a losing game trying to figure out why the auction prices land where they do.
But that's the nice thing for us is we get to discuss it.
Hmm.
Now, this quilt, I'm angry about. I look at this quilt. It sold for $200. I was bidding on this. This is part of the issue with doing auctions online is
Oh, this was the
things
one you told me
happen.
about?
Yes, I was bidding on this quilt because like it's really cool. Like look at the border, like the edge on this, it's like scalloped and then this like paper cut work. Like it's really cool. Um And I will preface this also with saying I did not come into this auction with the intention of buying any quilts. That's actually not what I was after. I was after sewing tools. Um, but I saw this quilt and was like, oh, And I was like, and we did this auction live. So I was like, oh, well, if this goes low, then I'll jump in. So it's over 200. And on that day during the auction, it said that I had won it. And then when I went into my account, like, and it tells you like the lots that you've won and stuff, it wasn't there. So
Yeah.
there must have been like a glitch where like me and like someone else at the same time. And it made me really angry because I actually would have paid more than $200 for this quilt.
Okay. So it closed at 200, which was obviously somebody else's bid, but I don't know what the increments
But
were,
it
but
said that I had won it in
so
the
like you would
moment,
maybe
like
want
when
it
the
at
auction.
like 225 but it really was closed at 200.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's in hindsight, I should have taken like a screenshot. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it would have ended in my favor because like
Yeah.
they make it very clear in the fine print that like those things can happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, even with your screenshot, then what does the other person who won it have to say, Like I don't know what the
Well,
ethics
the
of the
the
auction saying like, oh, well, this person has a screenshot that shows they want it at, 225 or 250. You want it at 200. Sorry, you don't get it. I'm sure that there's some kind of like the technology piece, there's like a log that they could look at if it came down to a dispute, I'm
Yeah, I
assuming.
mean, it always just says at the very end that like the auctioneer has the final say.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So if I was the auctioneer, I'd always go for like, well, this person was going to pay more money and it would have kept going if it didn't close out
Hmm.
on you. So like whatever. But
Yeah. But
it may
also,
I
yeah,
was I was
I would
very
also say, look,
salty.
I remember you were like, but also from a technology standpoint, my guess is if it came down to like, some type of like real serious argument, they probably could look at a log and it would show that person who bid $200, they won it like 2 seconds before you or something like that. And they could prove that, yeah. That's it, and this actually has happened to me as well. In my case, I did have a technology glitch. Like I wasn't attached to a hard internet connection. I was on my phone. And it was literally just a couple of seconds, but I acknowledged that, yeah, I think I went offline for those 2 seconds. So when I thought it was closing out and I had bid, somebody did jump in after me, and um the auction, it was actually one of Dana's auctions, and I checked in with Dana, and Dana's like, no, I'm really sorry, this is what I see on my end. And I'm like, you know what, absolutely, I just wanted to check, but it was definitely on my end. But this stuff doesn't happen that often. I feel like
No,
it's on.
I think this is the only time so far it's happened to me.
Yeah, but beware if you're gonna try to like slip in there at the last second. If you're battling it out with somebody else, it very well may not go in your favor.
Yeah, I'm even looking at it right now. I'm pretty salty. I
It's a
didn't know
very
that
cool
I
quill.
didn't know
Yeah,
that
it's
I
very
was going
cool.
to be reigniting the trauma. Like
So sorry. So sorry. Um,
um luckily like this Vermont, because this auction was from Vermont.
yeah, I was about to
This
ask, because this is
application
this is New England, right?
hmm at least this one went for a halfway decent price. Now this white work, I was shocked, it only went for 275, because when you get in it is,
Yeah.
it has
It's
some
not in great condition.
issues. Well,
It might wash
I
up
mean,
just fine.
yeah, it needs to be cleaned, but it's got Trapunto, so um, but it's got some really nice quilting
This is
around the
interesting
edge, and
because it looks like it's just the border in the middle looks like it's just a grid pattern. Am I seeing that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and I was thinking originally that this, because this piece isn't in pristine condition, it could be a good study piece for somebody.
Mm-hmm. It's Yeah, that's interesting. Look what they did. There is no border on the one side.
That's probably the head.
Duh. Okay.
Yeah, and this is sitting, this card's sitting on the bed and everything else is the hangover.
Yeah, you're
Let's see,
right.
it's all like scalloped. Let's see if there's another view that, so we
Yeah, this is
got
really.
like kind of just crosshatch in
Hmm.
here, and then up in here it's all scalloped.
Wow.
And there's like a very clear demarcation of where the like inside is there, where they
Hmm.
put the borders on.
Yeah, you're right. When I see something like this, my heart breaks a little. And I also think the maker of this quilt is probably rolling in their grave. Like, oh my God, that quilt. I washed my hands every time I came near it. Look at it now. you know?
Well, for all you know though, it looks like this because it's sat in a cedar chest.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
See.
hoping whoever got it, I'm hoping that they'll be able to have it cleaned
Oh,
and
this even has provenance. Early 19th century whole cloth whitework trapunto stuffed work quilt descending from El Electa Thankful
Electa
Warner.
Thankful Werner. What a name. I love that. Electa Thankful.
Electa Thankful Barnes, aka Thankful Barnes, Pittsfield, Vermont, 1824 to 1907, married Elizor
Ele
Chapin Warner.
Eleazar, probably. Wow,
Yeah,
those are
so
some
this even
names.
has, yeah, this even has provenance and it only went for 275.
Wow. Again, I mean, I feel like we beat this dead horse every time we look at quilts in these auctions. It's like I would have paid more than that.
Here we
I
go.
actually do remember you showing that Mockleen lot to me.
So I didn't win this, but I do know who did. A friend of ours did. Not the friend you think. Not the
Oh,
friend you think.
a different. You'll have to tell me offline because I'm interested to know who.
A dealer
Okay.
friend that we get excited about seeing at Penn's.
Oh, okay. Well, that dealer friend seems to have gotten a good deal on some Mocklin.
Yes, a
Um,
dealer friend that you will see in Portland.
yes, I've figured out who you're talking about. It looks like there's some kind of neat. Oh, I love that needle that or not needle, the thimble case that's on the left-hand side. I love that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have one from a Virginia agricultural college. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
they
I pur I purposely
they
didn't
got
go
some good deals.
after I purposely didn't go after the slot because I'm so bombarded with Mocklin,
Yeah.
but she was
Now, I
saying to
did
me that she went
tatting
after this
shuttles.
from Fernweh.
Gotcha. Oh, yes, the Fernware is something else. It is really, really interesting looking. I don't know that I've seen tatting shuttles, Mocklin tatting shuttles.
I I think I've seen them, but not like in
Hmm.
my hands.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, I do know, well, I guess we've revealed that this dealer we're talking about is a she. I do know she does tend to have a lot of these Mocklin smalls. I can't remember if I think way back I might have bought one like a little pin keep from her, I think. Um, I know I looked at a lot of what she had, but yeah, the Fernware is really probably my favorite too.
She sent me a picture of this in my phone the other day. It's really pretty. I especially like the Dumfries.
Yeah, Dumfries. It's a town in Virginia.
Oh,
I'm also
here's a
assuming it's a
name.
town somewhere or something somewhere in the UK, I'm sure. I like that
Yeah.
trefoil or that clover shaped. I guess it's a
Yeah,
pin keep.
she's had those before. These
Hmm.
I like these thread holders. This
It's like
one's
a
very
little,
interesting.
yeah, it's like a little wash bucket. Like a little,
I have one similar to this one.
yeah, I have something similar to that that's not in great condition. It's missing its little ceramic, those little porcelain thread hole grommets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very nice lot.
Yeah,
And
it
she
looks
got it
like this
for
was probably from somebody's collection that they had some nice pieces.
it yeah, I'm pretty sure it says who's some of them say it's from a particular person's collection.
Yeah.
Now this I did try for this lot.
Because this had the
I
tartanware
backed
in it.
out. Yes.
Yeah.
And for anyone that doesn't know, one of the reasons I was trying, if you forgot, is because I have a tartanware sewing box.
Oh, yes, all those little doodads would be so great in your box. Oh, that
Yeah.
sounded weird. Your sewing box.
Hopefully, the program you use to find clips doesn't like find that clip with no context.
Yeah, we
But yeah,
promised not to
this
make this NC-17, so go ahead. Oh, that's a scissor thing. I didn't realize that. I couldn't tell from in the middle there. I couldn't tell what that
Mhm.
was.
Yeah, yeah, this has a lot of good stuff in it. I really like this pin keep
Yeah.
here that
Hmm.
like
I like
also
that.
can like, the throw hold a thread winder.
Yeah, I like that. The tartanware scissor case that's closed. That one, it looks like it's in really good
Mm-hmm.
condition. It's like really bright and pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's both of those open.
It's blue on the inside. Ooh.
Mm. Yeah, that was a really nice lot. I was a little bummed about that one. I also didn't. go after this lot because as you can see, like we had some people bidding, that were willing to pay some money, and our friend and I were going after a very particular lot.
This has
Um,
some stuff in it that I love. So like there's that little boot thing, a little boot pin keep. There's
mhm.
the and
I
you
have
just were
one. I
zoomed
have a pin keep just like this one right here.
yeah, and you were zoomed in on it a second ago as the wishbone needle or a thimble
Yeah,
holder.
I've got a few of those.
Yeah, those are interesting. I still have
This
a
little
wishbone you
this
saved
little
for me
pin
that I was gonna
cushion,
play with.
this little pin cushion here with strawberry is really cute.
Yeah, there's definitely some fun stuff. Is it like a little straw purse sort of thing? Oh no,
This right
it
here?
looks like it's a needle book. It's like a needle book,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like there's some cool stuff in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
again, looking at the what the price things go for, the Mockinware set went for less than this. So there must be something in there that a particular bidder was going after.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Especially if it's going to be for their collection.
That
Yep, there's a
beautiful
combo.
chatelaine pinball I just saw.
Yeah, and you can see this pinball went for 600. I don't know if our friend tried for this. I know she didn't get it. But
hmm
I didn't even bother because by the time we got to the live auction, it was already at like $500. So I was like, forget it.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
and it's not dated, like some of them have
Mhm.
dates and stuff on it, but it's just
It
got
does
that
look,
nice.
it looks like it's in phenomenal condition though. And, I just, now that I see these, because I wasn't really familiar with these so much until the last few years when I saw, some of our collector friends that are into these. And I mean, I think they're fascinating. And now that we've seen them deconstructed, we know how they're made. If you guys remember the
Hmm.
Chester County visible storage, they literally had
Hmm.
like two drawers full of them. And,
Hmm.
and some of the blank, or not the blank, but the needle point pieces that they would
But
stitch first and
the
then
templated pieces.
yeah. And my assumption is if once you stitched, then somebody would then make the pinball for you. I know that you could send things off or back and they would make them. I
Hmm.
kind of didn't understand how that worked. And I think our one collector friend was like, no, you literally got like almost a kit to make these things and then you
Hmm.
sent it back and they
Hmm.
assembled it all for you. So I assume that's the same with those chatelaine pieces.
Yeah, here's a whole chatelaine that went for just like $200. Normally we see these places and they go for a lot more money. And no, I did not win this.
This one's silver or silver plate? Because I know sometimes they're the lesser metals are not don't go for quite as much. Oh, that thimble looks like it
Silver
could be
plated,
vermeil. The thimble looks
silver
like it could
plated,
have vermeil in the center.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so cute though. I love how it looks like a bucket.
Little bucket. Stick your thimble in there.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Again, it would have been a great piece for someone that like was just getting started collecting.
Mhm.
And then also like look at this whole set of clamps here went for 175.
Okay, now that makes my head hurt because I have paid that much for one clamp.
One clamp. Yeah,
Now, of course,
this whole set
the
of burrs went for
provenance,
250.
yeah, the provenance of the clamp that I paid that much for is pretty stellar. So,
Uh-huh. So now we've got to get through some other things. That
yeah,
painting's
and
kind of
the
cool.
furniture, the furniture and the paintings, like, especially these, I'm sure that there are collectors and people that are interested in this stuff and would go out. Like, I could just scroll past this stuff and never give it a second look.
Oh, so there are things that
Yeah, there are
you don't
things
see
that I
on
will not
Google.
stop and look at. Yes. I was gonna mention earlier, the auction house that's closest to me, I haven't participated in one of their auctions in a while, but they will sometimes get this oddball art, like mid-century artwork, and I always have to stop and research who the artist is, like what is this stuff.
Hmm.
They had this one, it was a I don't know if it was fiberglass or I don't know what it was made out of. It wasn't in super condition, but it was a late 20th century artist. And I want to say he was he was from Cuba. He was like expatriated, you know, and he was in the US. And apparently he did this kind of like advertising work. And the piece was a monkey, like a chimpanzee, not quite life-sized, but still like a fairly large sculpture. And it was smoking a cigarette. I was like, this is the funniest thing. I love this. It ended up going for a lot of money, even though it needed repair. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm always fascinated to learn about these obscure artists that people, collect their work.
Yeah. Here's some more samplers. I thought this one here, this 1827 was really cute. Um, but like this one, I understand it's got like some like staining and stuff
Yeah.
on it. Like
Okay.
1834, it's got a name and everything like that, and it only went for $100.
Hmm. Again, being a person who doesn't know much about samplers, and I know some of our friends could tell us in a heartbeat, the differences between all of these. I mean, I see the one that ended at 425 as being like, okay, that's got, a lot of decorative work on it, and I don't know what that piece at
It's
the
also
top
early.
is. Yeah, also early. The 1834, you're saying that's the stain. It's got staining and stuff.
Hmm.
But then the one next to it at 300 also looks like watermarks at the top. So like
But
I can't
it's
even,
really early at
it's early.
1820.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's the date and the how ornate it is. And then if there's any kind of geographic or name connection, I guess
Well, and
then
you know
that.
what's funny is this one went for the most money, but the border on the bottom's cut off. It's either
Hmm.
under the frame or it's literally cut off. See back
Hmm.
down here?
Did they zoom in on what that is at the top? Because it looks like a passage. It's not like an alphabet or anything, is it?
Yeah, it's a passage.
Hmm.
This piece of work to let you see what care my parents took of me when I am dead and in my grave. This piece of work I hope you'll have.
Wow, somebody has it for $425. And
And
hopefully,
it was by Mercy Woods, age 12.
well, hopefully 12-year-old Mercy in 1828, should she know that her sampler sold for $425 at an auction, I hope she's going,
Well, $425 in 1828 is an
I
awful lot of
know.
money.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I hope she's like.
Yeah, look at this one. This one's pretty
Now that is
bananas.
wild. Schoolgirl sampler. How old was she? 3?
Yeah, like this
Usually
is
the intricate
very
stuff like
popular.
this these are the older girls. These are like the girls that are like late high school age, like 17, 18, usually do this kind of stuff.
I can't really tell if you can read her age. Let's see if it's aged 8.
Are you kidding me? And I have some friends who are incredible needle people um that can stitch, like have the patience and the eye for stitching things, like gorgeous cross stitch. I mean, that's what I kind of equate with samplers, and none of them have done anything like this intricate. Like, and she was 8. So I take it back. Apparently, anybody from the age of 5 to 25 could stitch like this when they were a schoolgirl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then this quilt I won, which look, it went for 125. Again, I was not on the radar to get any quilts, but then when I saw this quilt like not doing anything, I was like, thank you.
Now, do you think, I'm gonna assume that, I mean, you've got those beautiful teal green pieces in the middle. I'm assuming that's what that color is. And then you looks like a little bit of like a red, like maybe was that like a madder red? I don't know if that's the right shade for madder, but all the rest of it seems faded to me. Like the colors are faded, right?
I haven't, yeah, it looks like that. This was more purple,
That
supposed to be more
purple
purple.
that's faded to brown, yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
I have not examined this yet. But yeah, I'm gonna guess all of that sashing was supposed to be purple.
It looks like pretty good piecing. Um,
Hmm.
looks like it may have some stains and stuff, but it looks like it's in good condition.
Yeah, there was a little bit that had like you can see like right here that had some wear
Yeah.
right here. Um, but I was like, good Lord, $125.
Now, even so, yeah, even when that quilt, you don't have to open it back up, but even when that quilt was like brand new, it seems like there may have been an interesting color situation going on, although with the fading and some of the dye loss, I guess it's really hard to imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one here also 175, and this one was cute. This one went for 175. I was tempted to bid on this one because just the fabrics were really cool. But again,
Oh, I
I
like that top corner. Look at that one.
I came to this auction on a mission,
Yeah.
so
You
I
can't
was like,
get
I'm
too
not
many
here
acc
for quotes.
you can't get too many accidental quilts.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not here for quilts. Stop it. But yeah, I went really low. Let me see here. Furniture. Snuff boxes, pill boxes, more pill boxes,
I
glass.
have to say I don't really want to collect those, but I like to look at them because some of them are really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
And those head mugs, my
yeah.
grandparents had a few of those when I was little. They were the piratey ones, the one that like the guy
Hmm.
and the you know, he looked like the Mr. Gorton's fisherman, Mrs. Gorton's fisherman or whatever. I don't know whatever happened to them. And now every time I see them in an auction, I'm like, I wish I had those. I feel like they're worth something now, but I don't know what happened to them. Now this is interesting.
I thought this was cool.
Can you imagine the
Like
baby that was pushed around in that? Now this is an actual baby, right? This isn't a doll thing.
this is life size.
Okay. So the child that got pushed around in that. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's got to be a child that can sit up based on what that little seat looks like. So it's not for, a newborn or an infant.
That was so cool.
Yeah, that is pretty neat.
Just a little detour
You
on our
know,
way to more stuff. So.
I noticed the high chair. My grandmother had an old high chair like that. And another thing, I don't know whatever happened to it. My dad's siblings got rid of some of her antiques before I had a chance to get my grubby little fingers on
Oh,
them.
yes, I remember you telling me. I'm surprised that
Yeah.
we didn't hear about a murder happening.
Well, it was the kind of thing at the time in my life I wasn't like I mean, I still don't have the room for any of their because they had some pretty big antique stuff. Um, but it was at the time when, my grandmother was actually still alive. She was in a nursing home and my uncle was living in her house and he was, just slowly, he wasn't anything malicious. He was just slowly trying to get rid of things that he didn't think, he didn't want to have to deal with if she died. So,
Hmm. So here's a lot that I did not. I think I bid on this, but I did not win. That has lots of good stuff, like this little like lace kind of practice.
yeah, did it
These
say a
little
tatting
snare
sampler?
things are cute. Yeah, there's a lot of that, like this book back here and this book here, and then like look at this like pin keep. That's like a card. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah,
There's a
looks like
couple
a playing
of
card.
like here's a Victorian trade card. Here's a whole like sewing set, some needle books, and this just looks like some antique lace maybe. Um yeah, this was a good little lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think about what, seeing those individual items in an antique store, I know what they sell for. So that is a decent little lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little I was one of those like, well, I gotta let it go. This was another one that was very cute that went for a lot. I'm actually surprised it went for this much, given that it's got like, it's like vegetable ivory and
But it says
um
Stanhope's, and I know that was a major.
yeah, this
Um,
this here has the Stanhope and probably
Ah,
this one
there's one
here.
of those umbrellas, and it looks like it's got the little thing in the handle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, you've asked me in the past, like, what's my unicorn? I would say it's probably one of those umbrellas. And the reason why I have a needle case of, and I think it's bone, needle case where the handle screws off and the needles go in there. But, and it was something I was really after. But the true unicorn is the one that in that handle, there's a little tiny hole, and the little tiny hole has like a glass lens in it, and you look through, and it's one of those little like souvenir vistas. So if you think about those like little plastic viewers that you could used to be able to buy like in a tourist destination, I think that's one of them. It's literally like
Yeah,
a teeny, I mean, it is a tiny hole. It's like the head of a pin almost, and you
I
look through
have a
it.
couple of pieces with Stanhopes and my eyes can't see it.
Oh.
I don't know
I
if it's
think
like a
they're
trigger
very
for
I
me,
think they're
but
very cool, but
they
they're
are.
they're
My
fairly they're
I just
fairly rare. I think they're fairly rare.
yeah,
Or they're
I have one or two pieces that are like this tape
mhm.
measure that has
Yeah,
a Stanhope.
I have a similar tape measure. It's not in good condition though.
Let's see if it lists. Let's see. No, it doesn't say like. Also say like this buyer's premium on this was pretty high, 26%.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And I know we've talked about buyer's premiums a lot, but I think that's the other thing that's probably holding me back right now, considering my self-imposed budget, is that, even when something goes for a price that I'm like, oh, my budget could have sustained that, you have to add in that buyer's premium, which is they're really high right now. I mean, our
Hmm.
friend Dana, hers are low. There's a couple of auction houses. I know that you deal with an online auction that's very industry low, and my local one is pretty low, but yeah, they can be really astronomical. And especially we found out that there is no limit. I thought for sure if you spend like $26,000 on a shaker sewing basket that there's gonna be a cap on the buyer's premium. Not so. We found out. So if the auction house is selling you something for $26,000, you were gonna pay, in this case, it would have been a 26%. And I can't do that math in my head, but it's it's a good chunk of change.
Well, and I think we're actually going to look at that auction house next. I think theirs was 28 or something. We'll double check. But yeah, there were some other like this whole auction had really great mixed lots. Like this was another one, a lot that um we'd put some bids on and backed out, so it went for 500. This lot, I know it says I lost it, but actually I won it because our friend
Is
and I shared this
Yes, okay.
lot.
So this is the one yeah. This is
This
the
is the
one that
one
was
that we went after.
this is because our friend won it, right?
Yes. I
Yeah.
know it said on mine, it said lost. Up top here it says sorry, your bid lost. And it was only because like I had started to bid on it, and then she was like, no, 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 I'm gonna bid on this one. And then I was like, oh, never mind, I'll stop. Um, but yeah, we
Yeah.
share we split this
I
lot.
do remember you showing me this one. I want to say it was before the auction. You showed me this one because some of the pieces in it that were of interest. And I gotta say that oyster, I'm loving that oyster. And I don't know if that's something that she went after for her collection, but um if it is up for acquiring, it is one of those things I would like to be added to the list for future consideration. Um, but also she may, because it's pretty cool. She may have snatched that for
Mm-hmm.
her collection, or
Mm-hmm.
you may be snatching it for yours. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some really, really neat stuff in here. And for anyone that doesn't know, these are Avery needle cases, most of them. Not all of them. Like this thing down here is called a nanny brooch. Um, and they're often ornate uh needle cases, and that I didn't mean to go all the way out.
And they're
That's one
brass.
reason why. Yeah.
They're like brass stamped things, but very heavy.
And yeah, and that's why they're often a big deal and expensive, and they're very, seeing inside here, it's just super ornate. I
Oh,
have I have I have one in
that
my collection of this.
yeah, I was gonna say I know it was either you have one or one of our friends has one, and I have seen it, and it accordions back up, and it looks like a little book, right? It looks like a little tiny encyclopedia or dictionary or something. Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. All
There
right,
you
we
are.
back? Okay. You
Yeah.
blipped, we blipped. I'll have to remember to
You
edit that
just
out.
you blipped. It was so cute. You blipped like this.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It says I don't know if it's your internet or mine, but
Mine says I'm at full bar. But anywho, going back, you were saying either I had this or someone else had this. Yes. The answer is yes and. This one, like this shell here is very
Mhm.
cool. I mean, also can we just
seen one of
say
those.
shout out to live auctioneers for the Zoom function. Like
Yeah, I
this is
have
a
to
pretty
say, and
good
yeah, and I feel like live auctioneers, and Dana, I know Dana, our friend Dana, she uses this as well, in addition to her own site, her own auction site. Yeah, I feel like it supports high res photos. That's important. Um, and yeah, they do. I think this technology to zoom in is so nice. I mean,
This piece
this
here
is
is
what
very
makes it worth it
interesting.
to bid on these things because if you didn't have these high resolution photos, you could definitely miss a major flaw or damage or something and end up with something that you're very unhappy with.
This piece is interesting. It looks like it holds safety pins.
Yeah, I was just sitting there as you were zooming in. I'm like, are those safety pins? Like, what is the deal with
Yeah.
that?
I don't know that I've ever seen a piece like that. This thimble holder's cute. Um, here's your shell. Your
That oyster, I love it. It's just so cute. Now, is that an Avery or is that another? Do you know?
I think it's an Avery, but I don't know what the back looks like. Um, I'm pretty sure it is, but it is
So it
is
might
this
be one of those things I'll have to beg our dear friend to put my name on it in her will. I'll finally earn it when I'm 102.
well, or I was to say like, or tell your mom that you want it for Christmas.
There's that as well. That's assuming one of you is selling it.
This like
These
horn
are really
type
interesting things.
piece is
Yeah,
very interesting.
what is that? Is it a thimble holder of some sort or is it some other kind of
I I think it's a needle holder. Um, I've
yeah,
seen this
is it
basket one in
mhm.
person before. It's very cute.
Oh yeah, that looks like a little picnic basket.
It is.
Okay.
I recently in another auction won another one of these horseshoe ones that a friend of ours already has. And the thing that this photo is not showing you is that horseshoe is big. I'm trying to see if there's something on my desk that can like it's kind of like this big. It's a big it's a
Yeah, I
biggin.
noticed so the shell, like I know that that's clamshell is fairly large too. I was surprised at these, but
Yeah.
like you can stuff these full of needle packets. Like they're not a tiny little like thread your needles in there. These things hold like whole needle packets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean these things go for a lot. Like they're pretty like I just for funsies and I'm telling people this in case you stumble upon any that are a steal. Um uh what is that? Splatter needle case? Interesting.
It
I've
looks
never
like it's
seen one of
in
those.
it looks like it's in horrible condition. I
It
don't know.
it
I mean,
looks
it's
like it's something that's broken.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the patina can come. Oh my gosh, is it a crab? That's a
Yeah,
crab, like curled up on a
I was
plate.
wondering if it could be a crab. No, the thing. Let's see,
I wonder,
1880.
does it
Yeah, it's a crab.
shell?
It's a crab.
Oh, its shell flips up. Okay. That
It's
is
okay.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the Avery needle cases, uh, uh, the ideas they came up with
Well,
to turn
the
out.
when we've looked at the that auction house in England, the Blaisdells, their past auctions of these very fine sterling silver pieces, some of them are so bizarre, but so delightful, Like you have to give these companies credit. We
Mhm.
just don't get stuff like this anymore. It just that nobody makes it. Or it's very high end like jewelers that create these kind of things, and it's I would say very few and far between that you could get something like this that's new.
Yeah. So like, we saw one that was one of these like scrollwork opened, all of them are. This
The little
one is
book.
very coveted. People really go after these ones.
Is it enamel that's on it? I know enamel is it says gilt metal. Yeah, it's
I
an
don't,
enamel
so
process.
I was gonna say, I've never seen one with these colors on it before.
Yeah, my guess is, and this is just a guess because I have not examined one of these, but I my guess is it's like an enamel type of more like an oil paint that then they would bake it. So it's not like a high.
I've only ever seen them fully brass, so I don't know if someone added something to this at another time.
Yeah, it's my guess is it's like an oil paint though that you don't have to because like enamel like true enamel you have to heat that to a high temperature because true enamel is glass.
But
Whereas
like
that looks like it's probably
here's
a paint.
one, here's one that's an easel, and um here's one that's like another,
A
kind of
bee.
mothy,
Oh, it's a bee.
and oh, it's a bee. And this one I also
A
recently got in an
walnut.
auction that went to our friend. So yeah, just to show you guys average, kind of the prices that these go for. Um, if you see, there's
The
this one I
basket.
got for a friend recently at another antique store for a freaking deal compared to that price right there. So
Yeah,
if you guys, keep your eyes peeled when you go to antique stores in like the smalls cabinets.
there's
See,
a
there's
horseshoe.
horse. If you ever find one, you can find them for deals because people
Look
don't.
at that
This
big
is really
honking thing.
cool. Yeah, this thing that's like the weight. I
That's
really like this
crazy.
piece here. Um, so yeah, you can find them for a deal. Just an FYI. Now you can see why we paid as much money as we did.
Yeah, each individual piece for sure could is
Mhm.
much greater than.
And then like, I had tried for this lot because I loved all the different scissors and stuff that were in it.
Hmm.
I think there's one or two more things that I actually did. There were a bunch of sewing machines, toy sewing machines, really
Oh, the
nice
little sewing
ones.
machines.
Yeah, there were some nice ones. And they went for some decent money. This one's really cool. Um,
Like that, it looks like they had a lot of salt glaze.
they had a lot of everything.
Yeah, these Americana type things usually are stuff came from serious collectors because
Mm-hmm.
it's high end stuff.
Lots of glassware, jewelry, more jewelry. Here we go. So I did win this. Um,
Fruit
because
knives.
one, yeah, well, so it's so funny. When I first looked at this, I was just like, I don't care about fruit knives. But then, because if you haven't heard the news, I am going to be getting my first case at an antique store. So now that I'll have that, it's fine if I end up with a couple of random, pieces, because one of the reasons to go for that is if you remember, if you hadn't been around, there is an estate sale I went to last year, um, where I took a big Mockling lot. And there are many pieces in it that are not sewing related pieces. and I was going through the whole lot with Stephanie afterwards, and like I hold up like this like bowling pin kind of piece, and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with it? Or example, this is here only because I
The
was trying to look it up online, and P.S. I cannot
the
find it,
book.
people. Yeah, this book. I can't find a comp so far for this book, which is a mockling plated Burns's work. Um,
Like something nobody wants to read anyway. There's a collector
yeah,
out there that wants it. There is a collector out there is a collector for everything.
so I was like, I mean, and these fruit knives are and they're I mean they're sterling silver. So like, they're nice. But like I don't have a piece like this. This is a shoehorn. I was going after these scissors
Right,
because
yeah.
these scissors were
I
really cool.
I have the one of the darners minus the handle. And over the longest time I couldn't quite figure out because I have actually two of them. This big, it's a egg shaped thing and painted
Hmm.
black, but it's got this like metal rod sticking out of it. And I'm like, how? And I thought maybe they went together because I have a larger one and a smaller one. And I kept trying, like, what? How? Yeah. And then I started seeing them in auctions and on eBay. And I'm like, oh, they're sterling silver. They've got somebody's taken the handle to like have it melted down or whatever. It's silver plate. It's not solid sterling silver, but
Hmm. Um, yeah, I was like, I want those scissors. So I went after those scissors, and then I feel like there's potentially one more thing. There was a whole stack here
ooh.
of sewing tools books that only went for 50. This was a whole other
Yeah, I'm looking at
lot of just
that.
random sewing stuff. I think I made a couple,
Random.
I might have made a bit or two on that, but I backed out of that pretty quickly. So yeah, like this also goes to show you have to look through the entire auction because stuff is spread out. Some people think a friend of ours was like, "Oh, I didn't see that lot because I thought all the sewing stuff was done." And I'm like, "Amateur, you have to look through the whole thing."
You have to scroll to the very last page.
Yeah.
Although
Oh,
I
and
will say, if you are, oh, look, there's those nice frames. Um, if you or racks, drawing racks, if you have a local auction house that you look at a lot, you may notice there's a pattern to how, like my auction house always has the jewelry up front, then the paintings and photography, then the furniture, and then like any oddball, weird, large things like antique store fixtures and things like that. And usually the sewing type lots are in there after the paintings and quilts and things. So
hmm.
they kind of will be in like they won't all be together, but they'll sort of be spread out through this like one center section of the auction. So I know that like if I get to the point where I'm looking at furniture, I know there's no more lots, but not all auction houses list that way. So you kind of have to
You'd
look
say
at
most of
them.
them don't.
Yeah, I mean it really is kind of a crapshoot. But I have
So
seen
that
some that looks like there's a method to their madness in the way that they list things.
so that was the end of that one. There wasn't any more. I thought there was. So the only one, this only has a couple of things in it. This is New England auctions. We've looked at them before. This was the last auction house where we were looking at the shaker baskets that went
Ah,
for 24 and 25,000. So this auction house, I guess, is dealing with some high-end collectors that follow. I don't think I won anything from these guys. I don't think I have. Um, but they just this month had an Americana and shaker auction. I think I might have sent this to you
can't remember.
just as a oh my God, look at this kind of a thing, not a you should buy this kind of thing. It's
There's
well,
more of
it's one of
them,
those
and they're a
it's
bargain
one
at 21,000.
well, it's one of those things, like when you share auctions with your friends, you're sharing very different things. You're either sharing a hey, look at this, you need to buy it, or hey, look at this outrageous thing, you
Yeah,
know?
it's the outrageous things you share with me and the occasional sunbonnet Sue.
Oh, I need to log in. Hello.
Oh, I hate that when they make you log in for the prices. And by the way, that looks like it's levitating. That basket, I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
what they're doing there with their photos. I mean, they're great pictures, but it looks like the basket is hovering.
Now I have to remember what email I have registered with them.
It looks like you've got auto, your auto. Oh, no, you don't have auto.
No, it's that not. Ah, what's that? Okay, I guess that was my okay.
Oh,
First they're
okay.
like, that's wrong, and then I start to type something else, and I guess it's right. So apparently the levitating basket went for 550. But yeah, you're right. I didn't even notice that. I was like,
Now, did it go for 550 because it's a shaker gathering basket, or did it go for 550 because it's a shaker gathering basket with magical powers?
I was gonna say it went for the possession.
I paid for the
Um,
shaker ghost.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's people that would. So I was curious. So this is like group of shaker items, but I'm curious if a couple of these are like sewing items. These little like
They look
roll
like some
up
kind of
thingies.
pouches or purses. Oh, aren't they interesting?
Yeah, it looks like one of them like just like folds. I don't care about you. Stop it. I don't care about you. No, oh my God, I don't care about you. So those are just labels. Okay. Wow, that is like, look at that.
Yeah, it's got that pinked, like the pinked work, and then it's got those box
Hmm.
pleated things, and it looked like the blue underneath was box pleated too. There's a historic costuming person that I follow, and she has one of the pinking machines that makes that pinked edge. And if it wasn't really clear, it's the very, very dark. So in that one that's the cross with the blue, it's that very dark piece that's there in the middle of it. You can see they're scallops, but they're jaggedy scallops. And so sometimes you would get those with a pinking iron. So it's like a metal thing that has like a head on it that's got a few of the scallops. So like, if you think about craft scissors, like those
Hmm.
fancy scrapbooking scissors, like if you take a little section out of that and imagine that it's a steel stamp and you could stamp them
Hmm.
out, but also they were machines. So you feed your strip of fabric through, and it's a crank thing, and it's got like a little set of teeth, and it cuts them. And so I think that's probably most people either had one of those, I guess, or their dressmaker, whoever had one of those, and they could get that interesting pink edge.
Now I have to report that there. Oh, I was okay. It came up. Never mind. I was thinking that was the last photo, and I was going to be very upset. Um, is there a photo of them? Yes. Thank you. I was thinking there was not a photo of them open. I was going to be very angry. These are pretty.
So these, I mean, did it, I didn't, I missed the title. Did it say what these are? Like, I mean, are they just sort of little purse kind of
So, I don't
handkerchief
know.
holder? They're
Handkerchief
handkerchief holders.
holders. Huh. That's interesting. I have never seen a shaker handkerchief holder.
The
Um,
Shakers had all kinds of stuff going on.
they literally made something for everything. I'm surprised we haven't seen like toilet paper holders.
Yeah, there's those
Um,
brushes, dusters.
mhm.
Yeah. For people who were not gonna have a lineage, I mean, they set themselves
Well,
up to die out like it.
their lineage is their stuff.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess I have a passing interest in religious sects. They're sects. It's really hard to say that word without sounding obnoxious.
That
sects. Sects. I think they're fascinating, but like I think it takes a lot of like effort to get deep into what any one religious order, is about. And I've just often wondered about them because they were a celibate religious group. So like how do you expect to have a future unless you're recruiting in new adult members? And I don't know, did they do
Yeah.
that? Did people not want to join them? Like,
I don't know. I have never, despite the misnomer that someone with a degree in religion knows about all religions, I have never ever done any major research into the Shaker sect. Um, so I'm not, yeah, but that would
they
be, you're right. That's the only way, that would be the only way to keep things going is
mhm,
to expect people to keep joining your
mhm.
group.
Because otherwise you die out.
Here's a little,
Yeah. And I guess that is kind of informs then why this stuff is because not only did they make very fine things, I mean, these things were
Mhm.
very well made and very, but, you know, very fine craftsmanship, but there was a limit, I guess. Look at that doll cloak. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
See, these, I can't look at these. It's not that I want to buy them all, but it's just I got to look at
You
it and
just
see,
can't
like,
stay on track.
I can't. So fascinating. And they were a plain dressing people too, right? Like they
Hmm.
not quite like the Amish necessarily, but they did not go for fanciness except in their sewing
No,
tools.
because yeah, I was gonna say their fanciness was well, and it's funny. There's stuff that they is not altogether fancy. It's not like the high decorative eras of the Gothic and blah blah and but it's just very well made
Mhm.
um stuff and they're so well known for the boxes.
Mhm.
Look,
Even
there's an
shaker
herb drying rack.
style boxes, like brand new shaker style boxes that are made by woodworkers are still like very expensive. And I
This
guess
herb
it's the
drying rack
hallmark of
went
it.
for this herb drying rack went for $1,300.
And the estimate was only 250 was the max on the estimate.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I
Yep.
I
So
feel like
here's some
shaker
more.
stuff is having a moment maybe because I feel like in this auction when we've looked in the past, not a lot necessarily, but a number of the lots or the items have gone like way above the estimate.
Yeah, here's some more sewing stuff like this hand basket and a darner, multiple darners. And that went for 450. Um, Here's a four finger box in yellow wash, $2,200.
Ah, so that's with those little straps. That's
Mm-hmm.
the fit the fingers.
Here's a shaker sewing carrier in chrome yellow that went for 1,800. Now, the one we saw last time that went for like 25, 2,600 had like stuff in it. This one looks empty.
Right. It had that like silk liner, right? Or
Had it
no.
one had a
No,
silk
no,
liner and then
it
one
was
had the stuff for thread.
that's right, yeah. Um, so I'm wondering like that so chrome yellow paint, are you think that's like a dealer phrase or does the chrome paint have similar to like the chromium that's used in fabric?
I don't know.
Our dear friend
I
who used to
know,
be a chemist could probably give us some
yeah,
clue.
I do know that sometimes the yellow stuff seems to go for more. If maybe it was rarer, like maybe they only made it in a particular span of years or something like that.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of research into them.
Wow.
I do plan to go to the historic site with the historic buildings and museum about them. Because I'm like, it's not that far. There's no excuse for me to not go. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I should be able to report back because I'm sure if there's something to be said about chrome yellow, it's going to be there,
Hmm.
you
And
know.
now where are you talking about? Like what areas? This?
I think it's Maine. I think it's in Maine.
Oh, okay. I don't know. For some reason, when I think of the Shakers, I just think of like nebulously New England. Like I don't know that I've ever given much thought to like where were the Shakers found. Um,
Yeah, I think the historic spot is in Maine. if I'm
Okay.
not.
I know also, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking also New York, like upstate, but that's Oneida, right? The Oneida colony or group is they're a different group of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Why don't we just
Ask AI.
Colony Museum? I think the thing I'm thinking of is Canterbury.
Oh, that's New Hampshire.
Yeah, so maybe it's, and then there's Enfield Shaker Museum. So I guess there's more than one. Huh, down here is Shaker Heritage Society.
So I guess then they were maybe
Hancock Shaker
scattered.
Village. Yeah, so I guess there's more. Let's open up this map.
So they were scattered over a few states in New England at least. So maybe that's why I have this
Yeah.
nebulous New England idea of where Shakers were.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, it
I
looks
had
like it's sort of scattered everywhere.
always, yeah, I had always heard about it in, yeah, see up here. I'd always heard about it in Maine. So, okay, it looks like there's a lot of museums. Yes, I think I might have been thinking about this one up here. So the Alfred Shaker Museum, that says temporary closed. This one actually looks like it'd be too far from Portland. Alfred, Maine. I wonder why they're temporarily closed. That's small. The thing I'm thinking of, so that's a historic Shaker community site. Yeah, the thing I'm thinking of is like a whole, like Sturbridge Village. It's like a
Hmm.
whole big thing. Um, and I actually think it's interesting. Hancock Shaker Village here has a lot of reviews. That one looks really popular. Maybe it was Enfield. I forget. I think it was might have been our friend Selena that mentioned it to me.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's numerous stuff. So
Well, I have learned something
the more
today.
you know.
The more you know.
Yeah, so have I. This piece here, I have never seen one of these that I know of in the shaker style, and it is super cute. Like these little spindles, like oh my God.
And it sold for $1,700. So I guess
Yeah, it
somebody
could
else thought
be.
the same thing.
Yeah, it could be yours for a cool 2000 after the um premium.
Hmm.
I feel like there was a very particular. That's interesting. Look at this cast iron stove.
Yeah, that looks like some of the
Yeah,
the
look, I
like
saw I saw your mouth. You're like, I need it. I need to
no,
have it.
no. The reason why I was kind of is remember, Dr. Dunton can come into any conversation. His father invented like
Um,
a camp stove, and it was something like that. It was like this aluminum box sort of contraption with a chimney on it. And it was a battlefield stove. So that's why that kind of
Look at this group of boxes.
oh, look at those little boxes. Oh.
Aren't they cute?
And so are those woven like straw kind of like what is that?
I believe so, yeah. Oh, look at the
Okay.
bottoms. That's so cute. That's it.
Those are really lovely.
Only two photos. Oh, did it actually? There we go. Yeah, they're like a woven straw. Let me just check here if we got it doesn't say what the buyer's premium is. Description.
When they don't show you the buyer's premium on the page, you've just got to know like it's
Yeah,
gonna be a
right. I
lot.
think I feel like it's 28, but there's another part of me that wonders if it's 32. I know it's high. It's high. Um,
That just when I hear percentages like that, I realize that we're not dealing in a credit situation like this is business. They can charge what they want and if you're willing to pay it. But I think about credit cards and the interest rate percentages in the United States on credit cards. And I think about, the financial implications of making a big purchase on a credit card and not paying it off and having, accruing interest at that rate. Um, yeah, it's just like, and I think like, dear goodness, don't ever buy auction lots and pay that kind of buyer's premium and put it on a credit card that you don't pay off because like you're paying lots of money for something and like you have to think about that. That's
True story. This was a really good mixed lot of stuff.
now they're in the center. Okay, those are cool. Those two little, they look like salt and pepper shakers. Like, what is the deal with those? One of them looks like it has a ball or something on the top of it. What is
Yeah,
that?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, Sewing items, crafting items, darning tools.
Well, those are the things with the handles.
Yeah, I don't know what those are. This piece too, this red like wool looking piece looks like a pin cushion with like a needle holder on top of it.
Yeah, and it's got that looks like a piece of ribbon. Like I know sometimes those sort of things that hang. So I'm wondering if like you could hang it from like the arm of a chair or something.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, the Shakers made a lot of sewing implements. A lot.
Well, I guess, I mean, you kind of at this time in the world, people used a lot of sewing implements because they did a lot of sewing. The Shakers were no different.
Hmm. Mount Lebanon Shaker postcards. Hmm, that's interesting. Oh, and here's more. Here's more doll stuff.
I know. I'm like, forget the postcards. Look at those look at the cape. The cape. Just, I mean, we know that. I mean, I know I've seen pictures of Shaker women wearing that sort of garb, but look at it. That is so precious. And also,
This,
who are they making these doll clothes for? Because again, no children, no Shaker children.
well, but if you joined the community and you already had children,
Did okay. I mean, were there children? I really don't
I
know.
mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna guess that there must have been when people joined the community because everyone had children then.
yeah, yeah.
Like they had some children and then decided to join the community.
And then
That's
no
good.
more
That's my guess.
children. And then
Yeah,
no more
like that's
children.
it's what's interesting to me is this particular. So this is Shaker Sisters sewing
So
box with contents for $1,100.
does
So this
that
must
mean
have some
sisters like
provenance.
provenance? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Let's see.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
these
provenance. Willis. Well, the provenance is another auction house.
yeah,
Well, there's
probably
a
another auction house
photo.
that yeah, auction house that doesn't give you information or that looks like a lady painting. Is that
Hmm.
maybe one of the people that this belonged to?
I don't know.
It looks like a really neat box. It's got a mirror in it, I can see. Or is
Got
that
some
just a mirror
wax.
sitting in there?
Yeah.
Hmm. A
Got
variety of
some
items, including some
knitting.
shaker knitting needles, which we know are go for a pretty penny.
Yeah,
That
I
box
would have,
itself, though, I mean, I'm wondering, like, that doesn't look like a shaker thing. It's got that picture pasted in it. So, I mean, is that what a shaker sewing box also looks like?
I haven't seen one that looks like that.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that's something that came from outside of the shaker community and that maybe these women were provably shaker sisters.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I would have expected a little more information than that. I
Well, there
really
must be
didn't.
children because there's a shaker's child chair too. I don't know, I guess in my mind, I mean, and that's stupid of me. I mean, if you are not like if you are a celibate community and you're trying to get people to come in and join, it would make sense that not only are you looking for just people to join, but also children because they would grow up in the community and
Hmm.
potentially bring others in, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. In my
Hmm.
mind, I just pictured it as being a bunch of adults with no children.
This was interesting because, well, for one, they're calling this quilted trapunto, which we know this would be probably more akin to stuffed applique than trapunto.
Hmm.
Um, but this piece went for a lot of money. And it's funny because just looking at it like this, it actually almost looks contemporary to me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know that I would have been able to say. I mean, because the fabric's in there. A late
Hmm.
19th century, some of those fabrics make absolute sense. Those that black and green, we know that fabric. And then that other green with that's the stems and the calyxes, also ubiquitous for that time period. But also I'm kind of looking at some of these others and I'm hmm.
Well, and I will say one of the reasons that you it can be easy sometimes to get tripped up is, I mean, I'm gonna have reproduction fabric.
Exactly. That's why that
Mm.
in the middle. So, again, that black and green fabric, that's an Ellie Walker or Eli Walker, and I'm gonna say that's one that they made like for a long time. And
Hmm.
it is indicative of late 19th century. We see that a lot in Pennsylvania quilts. The green also, in that green in the 70s, Cranston, Eli Walker, bunch of companies made that print in different colors. I actually have a bunch of little scraps I pieced together to make a little piece that has the color range. But you didn't see that color range in the 19th century. But yeah, the flowers,
Hmm.
the petals, I don't know. Do they look, I mean, you're better at fabric than I am. Do those, especially that center flower, does that look like late 19th century?
It's funny because sometimes when I feel like, well, that's got to be older, I find an example like this
Yeah.
yellow fabric with that like multifaceted color on it. That would make me think it's later, but then I'll find
Hmm.
an example where
Hmm.
it really was that intricate. Um, so and because of how much it sold for, I'm going to expect, like, I
They knew
think
what
it's
they had,
probably
and the
legit.
person who bid on it knew what it was. I don't know. Yeah, I looked if I saw that like in an antique shop, I'd have been like, huh, this confounds me a bit.
Yeah, I mean, off the out of the corner of my eye, I was really like, oh, that looks like a modern piece to me.
Hmm.
Um, so, but again, like one of the things that would make me kind of go like, is the fact that the auction house is calling it Trapunto, where we know that's only when the stuffing is in the quilting, not in
Right.
the
Yeah.
applique.
So it's not
So,
really there's really no quilting at all in that. It's appliqué and it's stuffed and it's framed.
but
Yeah, that's
obviously
interesting.
somebody here, knew what they had. So it's a very, I'm really hoping that we know the person that bought it and it pops up somewhere that we see
You
them,
bought it. Oh my
print
gosh, can we
there.
look at it? Yeah.
Yeah. And talk about it like this. And it's funny, this hooked rug is really adorable and it went for $2,800. I know, like, there's quite a lot
Yeah.
to be
The rugs are
said.
another thing I really, and my mom actually has one of those little stools that's got the hooked rug on top of it.
Hmm.
And, that was just one of those things that was in our house and I never paid any attention to it. And it's really only been in the last few years, particularly because one of our friends makes hooked rugs and
Hmm.
I've really paid attention to them and I had no idea how collectible they were, how many like really interesting rugs there were out there. There was that whole it was a couple that in the 30s were collecting and reselling those rugs and I had no idea. They're really fascinating.
Hmm. Here's some samplers. Now here are the prices
Yeah,
we're
these are the
used to
price.
seeing
Yeah.
samplers before.
And what a difference. And I mean, I guess this also comes from the auction house themselves. What kind of reputation does the auction house have?
Well, and what kind of buyers tend to frequent that
Ex
auction house?
exactly. That's the point I'm making. Like, would the people that go to this auction, or look at this auction think that, oh, I won't find anything quite as fine in that other auction?
Yep. And I don't know about you, like I don't necessarily think that like these samplers are altogether better,
Hmm.
For I don't know why this particular Virginia sampler is rare, other than
Rare,
maybe samplers just don't survive as well in the South because of the climate.
maybe.
And see 20 bids, 30 bids, people were fighting over these two big time.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting.
and
And to
here's some
me, the one
more.
on the right is prettier than that center one,
Yeah.
and the prices are pretty different.
Like,
Hmm.
look, this one went to for 14,000 and it
Oh
was
my God.
only estimated at 2 to 4, and it's early. It's 1802.
1802. It looks like it's in really good condition too, just from
Well,
the
it's also
thumbnail.
very interesting. I have this propensity for samplers with buildings on them, but then like there's these little like scenes where it looks like they're like underground.
Yeah.
Let's see, the needlework of mine will tell you. It's got two here.
The age, I think, is over here. How old is she? 15. This looks like it's stitched on silk gauze.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably another contributing factor that
Yeah,
it's
it
very,
is. It is.
very much more difficult to stitch on silk gauze than it is to stitch on those linen. And I mean, I know we saw some silk gauze stuff at the Chester County Historical Society, and I feel like there was a note somewhere, and I think that's where I read it, that these things were done by the older girls. You're not going to see this kind of stuff done by a 5-year-old because the material itself is more difficult.
It's interesting too. This came from Nantucket, Massachusetts, and I am heading to Nantucket for the first time uh in September. And it's interesting that the provenance is again just listed as
Another auction
Sotheby's.
house.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Sotheby's. I mean, that's a provenance in and of itself. I don't care where it was before it went to Sotheby's. It was at Sotheby's.
Yeah, but these samplers went, wow, look at that one.
Oh, I'm looking at the dark colored one. I think that one's pretty.
It is, but this Anne
Oh,
England went for
26.
$26,000. Let's see how old this was. Silk on linen, 1820. It does it not have her age?
1820. Okay. I just have to just I have to do the math because let's see. So what is 1820? Let's see. Mhm.
What math are you doing?
Well, it's hard currency convert well because I'm traveling internationally
Oh,
soon. All the
currency
currency
converter.
converters want yeah. So, well, okay. These things are based on inflation and the value of $26,000 in 1820 is equivalent to $714,366.67. So
Wow.
over $700,000. Can you imagine? And what is the girl's name?
Anne
Does it
England.
say Anne England? Can you imagine? Hey, Anne, you did a great job on this. And in 200 years approximately, this is going to sell for over $700,000 in our money today.
Mhm. Not too shabby.
And that's considering apparently this website I'm looking at, I don't know how legit this is, but it's saying that the value of the dollar was greater in 1820 than it is today. So,
Apparently, these like silhouette pieces are very desirable, especially this like woman with a book that went for $13,000.
Now, those are kind of weird. Silhouettes for sure were a big deal then,
Right,
having
but
your
like
silhouette cut.
they have these like caricaturist bodies.
Yeah, that I have never seen something like that before because you can tell the heads are definitely based on real people.
Mm-hmm.
Those look like your standard silhouettes. It's funny. My mom had my silhouette cut a couple times when I was a kid.
Hmm.
And it's weird because she like my grandparents had she must have gotten multiple copies at least one point because my grandparents had them. And I know
Look
she
at
also has them.
this one went for 20 grand.
This must be a rare version of silhouettes.
Yeah, do you know how many sewing tools I could buy for 20 grand? Here's another one that went for 20 grand.
Yeah, these must be very rare. These must be very specific to either a particular artist or something.
Ooh, here's a carved sewing stand.
And that
And
went
it
for
only
$275. Whereas a bizarre silhouette went for 10 times that much.
yeah, those legs are
Wow.
really like
Yeah. And it looks like
wow.
is it cherry wood? Is that what it says? So it's a
Maple,
tiger
tiger,
maple.
maple, and cherry.
Yeah, that's that stripy stuff that's on the bottom part of the stand. So and I guess the box is made of cherry.
Wow, it's very ordinary. Oh, and it's got initials, LPF.
Oh,
They're like, how could we make this extra? Ooh, it opens like in the front too. That's cool.
little tiny drawers. Oh wow. And
I've never seen one like that.
I'm assuming those hit the pin cushion and I can't tell if are they all pin cushions or is one of them like
The
a
small one's
needle.
probably like a an emery.
Okay. So are those, I wonder if those are permanently fixed?
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna guess probably. Oh wow, that's so pretty. I could totally have one of those in my life.
Yeah, yeah. Considering I sew away from my desk, I mean, I sew my little sewing nook is the corner of my couch. It is nice to have something stable so your scissors aren't falling under the couch cushions when you set them on the arm of the couch.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there was anything. There's a weird guy's head that went for $1,400. And that penguin went for 2,800. I don't. Oh, here's some tape looms.
Ah, yes. And those are miniature tape looms. Oh my gosh, it's still one for a pretty penny.
Yeah, tape looms always go for a lot.
Well,
I
and
feel like everywhere.
I think I have a little bit better understanding why. It's because they broke. Those very fine that fine carving and the reed
Hmm.
basically that's a floating heddle it that they broke and then also just it's a technology that there came a point I mean very long time ago they weren't needed anymore. They were truly like a
Hmm.
colonial thing and I suppose into the 1800s but you get to a point where things are mechanical. Industrial
Hmm.
revolution pretty much got rid of those so
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else in this auction.
many penguins. And oh, these are carved birds.
Hmm.
Ironically, I actually have a few of these things because my husband is a birder and
Well, these ones
he
were
does
going for a decent amount of money.
yeah, he ours are contemporary and we know who carved them. So I keep thinking about those silhouettes. These are very strange. I'm wondering if I took my silhouette, my mother would kill me. If I took my childhood silhouettes and made them into a painting like that. But oh my goodness, look at that ventriloquist head. Oh dear Lord, that was look at those glasses. Ah,
Stay on task.
Yes, I know. But what I was gonna, oh, look at these dolls. These are very interesting.
Lots of
Um,
dolls.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's a
so
tramp art.
but are silhouettes a bizarre thing for people to have like to get today? Like, I mean, mine were cut in the 70s. And you were talking about colonial revival there, but I just always assumed it was something like every kid got their silhouette cut, and I think they that was not necessarily a thing. I think it was the thing my mom
I
thought was
don't
cool.
know. I don't think I've ever heard those words from anyone else that I know that
Well,
they
I
got
mean,
their stuff.
it's pre-photography. I mean, that is why like if you it was much much cheaper to get your silhouette cut than it was to have like your likeness painted. It's like a cheap technology, and I think it was
But
one of those
not
things
but
like,
not like it wasn't a cheap technology when you were a kid. They had photos.
well, exactly. That's why I guess I don't know. I've never really thought much about it, and now that I'm looking at these things and thinking about it, I'm like, it probably was weird. Like I don't.
Yeah, I think this was
This
the
is
last
this is
piece.
fun. I love
Yeah, this
tramp arts. Yeah, tramp art stuff is so fun.
I actually saw a really cool tramp art sewing box yesterday when I was out shopping that I've got to show you a picture of. Um, but this one's really cute. I know there are a lot of people that don't like tramp art. They think it's
Well, and
not
I
pretty.
often question, how do you tell? And this is again the thing, like people that collect in one specific niche, they know. I mean, like you and I can look at needlework tools generally and know like that's a reproduction, like but
Mm-hmm.
the tramp art, I wonder how much of it is legitimately like tramp art and how much of it is kind of like a reproduction. And I'll give you an example. Those tin can rocking chairs or chairs that are pin cushions, and it's
Mm-hmm.
literally made out of like a soup can that's been cut and
Mm-hmm.
these pliers to those are tramp art, but I think that I mean you see that they're ubiquitous, they're everywhere. And I think that it was possibly a craft that may have been out there. But I think there were companies that were just making those at some point because they were so popular. So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question is, I don't know anything about tramp art, so, but I've seen stuff like that in antique stores, and I don't think it's the real deal. I think it's some kind of reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I
I'll
just
leave it
wanted to
there.
check. I just wanted to check real quick. Um, Hello. I've noticed my internet is starting to get slow, probably with the heat. Um, I wanted to see what the buyer's premium was for New England auctions before we go because I have somewhere that I need to go. Let me just see here. Let's see. Um, do. Any day now. Okay. Let's see. Do you list your buyer's premium?
They have to.
Well, I was looking to see if they had it in just like a generic
It's
place.
probably in the fine print because it's one of the higher ones, if we're remembering correctly.
Okay, can you like open now?
What were you estimating? 32 on this one or
I
28?
think I feel like I either saw 28 at one point or I saw 32. Like, why aren't you opening?
Yeah, those percentages just again like just strike fear in my heart. I understand, I mean we know this is how auction houses make their money, so it's not like, the banks and the interest rates and stuff. This is their business model. Like this is how they make money, but ooh. If you're nickel and diming your auction sales, I get it. Like you want it as high as possible so you get the highest income possible off of any sale. But when you sell things that are in the tens of thousands of dollars that percentage is that high, like wow, that must be a really, really wealthy auction house.
Yeah, and I'm getting really frustrated because it's becoming way hard here for me to find their buyer's premium. Oh my God, if you pay them with a credit card, they charge you a 3.9% surcharge.
Buyer's premium $25 is what I see on New England auctions. Am I looking at the right one?
$25.
25%, sorry. A buyer's premium of 25% is
Oh,
added to all hammer prices of lots purchased through New England auctions,
well, then there
internet
you go.
platform, or in-house absentee fund. A buyer's premium of 28 will be added for lots purchased through live auctioneers, bid square, etc. So
Okay,
this
there
is
we go. So 28.
their auction house is 25%, but live auctioneers. And the reason they do that is what we learned is because they have to pay an overhead on those separate sites. So,
Uh-huh.
it behooves them to be able to sell on multiple sites, just because of where people are found. But I can also
Mm-hmm.
understand like bumping your percentages up a little bit to break even on those fees that those sites charge. All gets passed on to the consumer. This is how our capitalist society works.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have got an appointment that I have to go to.
This might be our longest auction stream ever.
You
So
know.
I hope it was fun. It was certainly fun for me. I learned things about the Shakers, and
Well, and you, like you said, you hadn't really looked at any auction stuff in a
I
while,
know I
so
hadn't.
you got
Yeah.
to kind of live vicariously.
Yeah, that's
And
fun.
there will be some unboxing things.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. They're actually, well, and it's we're recording this on July 25th, and we have a stitch and glitch tomorrow, and I was going to show some of those things on the stitch and glitch. So, assuming that I do, you might have to go back now and watch,
The
or you've
stitch and
already
glitch.
seen, yeah, the July 26th stitch and glitch.
You're gonna have to do some time traveling, folks, but that's the way it works around here sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
Well, is that gonna do
I
it for
hope
us
you,
today?
it is, and I hope you're having fun in England,
I'm
even though
sure
you'll
I
be back.
am.
No, you won't
You
be
know,
back. You're still in England upstairs.
yes, I'm still in England on August 5th when you're watching this, friends. But I bet you anything, I've been traveling for a week now, and I'm probably very tired and starting to get homesick. So I will be thinking of
Then
you all.
I hope you're feeling cranky in England.
Oh, never. The hotels I'm staying in are
And
going to be too nice.
don't forget to bring me presents.
Yes, I know. It's number one on my list. After I look at Stonehenge, then my next important thing is get Jill a present.
Thank you.
All
All
right.
right,
Well,
I'm gonna go melt outside in the heat.
good luck with that. I also have to go outside, so
Okay.
all right. Well,
Well,
bye,
thanks
friends. We'll
everybody for
we'll
hanging.
yeah, we will be back live in 1 week. So
Yay!
bye.
Bye.